Hey, Scar Not Silent, this is Rodney G. Thank you for being with me. You don't even know. You don't even know. This is like the third time recording this. I use my Riverside over there. It's free. I don't pay for it. And it allowed me to do some things. I don't know if there's a glitch on their side or what's going on. And I record, I don't know, I probably had an hour of recordings altogether, and then I go back, everything looks good, and it doesn't work. And I have had a headache. I've been tired. I haven't felt well since yesterday. And, that little devil on my shoulder is like, oh, just don't do it. Don't worry about it. They'll be all right. They don't want to hear you today anyway. Well, I keep trying to push through and I get my good stuff, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, I got to come back here and do it again. So I'm using my Audacity now, the old school, 1990? I don't know when Audacity came out. Sort of feel like an older system. It just can't use all that nice AI stuff to kind of help cut some of the time off, especially now where I just like um need to do things. I got things to do and things I don't want to do. But I'm here and I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to go through it again. And I know this time it'll work because I can see all the little squigglies jumping up off of the screen. I talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Now I don't know if I got it in me. So, but the thing that I did want to talk about is I have my kidney transplant, right? So I'm sitting there in the house. I have a caregiver during the day. My wife comes in from work at night and helps me, and then my youngest son is there. As he comes, I think he was going to school at the time, so he's coming to school. Well, college when I say school. So he's at community college, and he's gone for most of the day, and then comes home and helps me out when he can. And I'm just kind of there, right? Don't know what way life is going. Just happy to be alive. Can't get sleep because the bed's uncomfortable. And they said you could plop yourself up with pillows and set up and sleep. And with the incisions, it just didn't. I couldn't get there. I couldn't get that sleep. So my wife did something amazing. She went out and found me a recliner, or a rocking chair. I think she got it at a consignment shop. I said like the last 3 episodes that, or the last 2 episodes, I said I think she got it at Marketplace, but I don't think so. There was a consignment shop in San Diego that we love to go to because it was huge. They actually had a couple in San Diego, and we'd go there and just look around. And I like to look at the antique furniture anyway. That's kind of my thing. I don't want it in my house per se. Like it's not something I want to decorate my house in because I'm more of a modern style minimalist type of person. In my heart, my wife is not that, so I had to learn to adjust. But my hearts of hearts, minimalist, modern, and but I do love to look at the antique furniture, and if there's ways to incorporate that with modern, that's beautiful as well. I just enjoy history really and the historic value of the furniture and other knickknacks that you see there. But she got this chair for me, and we probably was borderline on history on this chair. So it's a velvet chair. I don't know if it's really velvet. It felt like velvet. What is that? Velvet? It felt like velvet, and it was green, and it was like and I can't figure out a description to give you for this green. It wasn't like emerald green, but it was like emerald green with a touch of yellow in it to kind of bring it down this notch. I don't know if that helps out or not. Look at your color wheel and see all the greens. So it's kind of like the slightly watered down with yellow green. Let me see. No, I was gonna say maybe it was the green of the Oregon Ducks jerseys, but no. Anyway, I have a picture of it. And I don't know if I posted it anywhere. It's me like looking miserable in my green velvet chair. The chair was supple on my skin. Like it was nice. It was like it felt good on my skin. So I'm not bad mouthing. The chair was actually very sturdy. I love that chair. Um, and so you can see in that picture, like I'm laid out in my pajama bottoms and I got my feet up. And I'm like, my feet. I don't know if I wanted people to see my feet. Now they don't look like Shaq's feet, but they're also not gonna give me $1 million on OnlyFans or fan only. I think it's OnlyFans. I'm like, I'm not gonna get $1 million on OnlyFans showing my feet off. So, but I'm in that chair, so maybe one day I'll if it's not already floating around, show that chair off. But I was able to get my sleep. That's what was most important. I was able to get my sleep using that chair. And just for her to think about it and go out and get it was amazing too. And we actually thought about keeping that chair because it was so comfortable, like I said. And then as I got better, she was sitting in that chair. And it's just one of those things. Great chair, didn't go with anything in the house, but it served its purpose. And then the other acts of kindness that I was receiving was just amazing, and it just felt good. Many times we walk around this world and we don't even know if we're being seen, right? We don't know if we're seen, let alone heard. And we just go through our courses of days. Sometimes we have conversations with people. I've had conversations with homeless people on the bus, and we've had the best like 5 minutes before the stop ever. And I've had like people on the bus go, "Wow, you really have a patience of a saint," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm a social worker." I kind of water it down by saying I'm a social worker. It's just my mentality, right? I really will give somebody the time of day who comes up to me and wants to chat. I'm not that person to blow you off. I'm like, get away. You stink. Go. Like I will deal with the smell and have a conversation with you. That's just, everybody needs it. I was like, if I spent 5 minutes on that bus and spoke to somebody who spoke to me first, I don't usually go out my way to, hey, how you doing? But some reason people are drawn to me. I think, like I said, I look scary. I look scary now because I've been lazy and didn't want to shave, and my George Jefferson's coming out on my head. But just being on the bus, like I wouldn't approach me because I'm always kind of quiet, and I kind of deliberately kind of keep that face so nobody messes with me face, on the public transportation bus. But yeah, still some people will come up, and some people that I would absolutely surprise, like little old ladies will start chatting with me, and I would chat and we'll have a conversation until they get off the bus, pretty much. But that's who I am. So I have people that kind of recognize you. It's amazing. Even when people say, I don't care. No, most of the time we want to be known for something. And the gratitude came when my wife was bringing meals from the meal train. And the meal train is something that we had at the synagogue where people would donate. Basically, they donate their time. So it'd be the congregation would donate their time, and staff would cook these meals. And once they're done cooking the meals, they would put them in these containers, these aluminum foil containers, and put the dates on them and then stick them in the freezer. So in an instance, like myself, I got sick. They bring the food over in these containers. You stick them in the oven. It tells you how long to stick it in the oven. It'll tell you what the meal is. And then, voila, you have your home cooked meal warmed up, ready for you. And you don't have to go cook and clean and do the dishes, really. You just throw the package away. And that was so helpful. And it was so amazing that they thought about it. And I think they approached my wife about the meal train, and she knew about it, but they approached her and said, hey, we started a meal train for you. I don't even know if she had to do it. I think they just started it. And we had food coming to us. And just amazing. And not to mention that, we have something we call the Mitzvah. So Mitzvah put on the list, and this pray for those who are sick or or in need of healing at the time. And I'm not there because I'm not feeling good, of course. But while I'm still not there, just they'll call your name. I think they went to Zoom um, a little bit too, so I was able to see it online. I think it was there in that time, and you just hear your name called out, and you see people pray, and it's not just my name. There's a list of names that they call, and they just pray for you. So that was also just another, along with the prayers of those around them. My mom always prayed, and whomever. Just amazing feeling, even though you're not always aware of it. So the meal train, the prayers, and then just the gifts, the gift of, the financial sometimes is what you need to get by and buy the things that you need. Gift cards came in, and people send, Goodwill cards, and a check will fall out, and you'd be amazed at the amount that would fall out of those checks, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And family and friends and sending, the well wishes and money and cards. It just was overwhelming for me at one point, and I just broke down and cried. And my wife was like, why are you crying? And I said, because for people to take their time to really just stop and think about you, it's just amazing thought about it. Sometimes I get really deep in my thinking, and I thought that's just amazing that somebody, maybe because it was some of the congregation members that I don't even know who they were, that I just would stop and had to think about it. Like, what a moment for people to step up. And we always talk about the stuff that we see on the internet and the TV and we hear on the news, and it didn't change from like 2019 to now. It was still the same mess. And it was about to get messier because we know what's coming. It's COVID. And it's just the humanity that shows up when you're not expecting it. It's amazing. And I'm sorry if you're hearing background noises like my leg hitting this piece of the chair or my nose is bumping the mic or whatever, because I got my eyes closed just thinking about it and kind of getting back into where you had those feelings of gratitude. And all of that put together makes a resilient person. It makes you resilient, makes you grateful. It really does keep you moving forward. It really does keep you thinking about those people. And in my last episode recording, I put, I'm not the best friend ever. Like, I'm a good person. Like, I'll be there. Like, something like outside of anything that's going to put me in jail, or like, I'm good. Like, I'm there if I can be. Now, what I'm not good at, see, just hit my nose on the mic. What I'm not good at is following up like with phone calls, like just making regular phone calls or keeping in touch by phone calls. I think that's better said. Or text. I'm not the best at text. Like the communication part from a distance, I'm not the best with. Like, I have to really put my mind into doing that. I think it's just because the way I was raised, like my dad hated, like he never answered, still doesn't answer the telephone. Never seen him call, didn't have friends over. My mom was a lot more social in the sense of like she had friends. That side of the family was down the street. So if it was, my mom and I would always go to my grandma's house on the weekends. And that's when they usually have like a cookout or they play cards all night long. You hear the birds chirping. Yeah, they're playing cards at that time. They were, and and a lot of things changed. I end up leaving, going to school, and everybody got older and kind of started drifting off, and then I moved, and so things just kind of changed. And I'm not the best at keeping in touch. I'm not. I'm at one with that. It's not the best trait of mine, and I understand that. But that doesn't mean that I don't think about people. I think about people from elementary school. I think about people from high school, middle school. I think about like first dates and wonder how they're doing, and just all those ins and outs of life, like passing certain people and quick discussions, and like the homeless person I told you on the bus that I had a conversation with, like all those stay with me, those moments. And I think about a lot of people every day, and it's just not like long term. Like I think about the guys from the football team when I was in college, the guys from football team in high school, some of the people that I passed through in high school that I would talk to, some of the people that would probably come up to me in high school because I was an athlete, so I had that little bit of that jock, but I don't think I was cocky or dismissive of anybody. Like I would talk to the person that, hey, where's the game at? Oh, the game's here. It's at this time. Come out and, cheer us on type of thing. That's why, professors and teachers and just like daycare workers, I'll think about like, oh, I wonder if they're still alive or how they're doing. So I think about all of that. Probably it's not long, it's quick, but it passes through. It's just something I do. And I think that's just holding on to those moments still. And just a lot of it is great moments. I have some moments that are not that good, and they don't usually pass through every day, but they'll pass through in my thoughts, but they're not something that I just stick with, right? So they're just fleeting thoughts, I guess, if you will, fleeting thoughts. But the other ones are more of just those times, and maybe sometimes where I said something that shouldn't have been said, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I still think about like, wow, that was pretty stupid. I said that. That sucked. And that was from like high school. But nothing like just degrade myself about. It's just those moments and people that passes through the years and you never see them. Like there's going to be so many people as we get older that disappear that I'll never see again, but still had like that 2-minute bump into moment that's in my life. And they didn't do nothing other than we just shared a moment, a human moment, humanity. It's being taken for granted with all the technology and everything else and the separation that we have. Humanity is being taken for granted. And being sick, humanity is what we need. We don't need all the other stuff. We need the humanity. And that's what I was receiving, and that's what hit me so hard. So I wanted to share that with you because that's all part of the growth and the healing and the resilience, like I said, is just moving forward. Like you'll take so much with you. And this is not even mentioning like the way you got your transplant or who you got it from. That's a whole other level. All right. Well, this definitely went through, and I'm not editing anything because I'm just not in that moment. So if you hear that motorcycle going down my street, sound like Easy Rider, enjoy that sound. All right. I got things to do. But with all the, the stuff I said, and I love everybody that I talk about, even like I said, the fleeting, and I don't love the homeless person because I don't know him enough to love him, but I love the moment that we shared. And if you could reflect on those things, then you know what? You're probably alive. So if you wake up, you have a purpose. Bye.